So, I've been going over a lot of the other cars and figured it was high time I did a little something on this Z. This Z has done a lot of things. It's been through some stuff, as it were. It started life as a very pristine 2005 base model 350Z. Bought it for like $6,000 back in 2016 or 2017. And that blue Z was the one that I did all of the tire test videos with.
Now, one thing to note about the laps that I'm going to be doing is they are back to back to back to back to back. Normally, you'd be waiting in line, the tires would have a chance to cool down a little bit, and you'd actually get more life out of these tires. This is about the most extreme torture test you could do, is doing back to back to back runs like this and getting the tires super, super hot, not giving them a chance to cool down. That also being said, Sandia is a pretty rough track on tires, so any amount of laps over the 2 or 3 that I normally get with the higher horsepower car is great with me. I'm also running this track both directions, so I'm going north and south. That way I can have even tire wear, not just wear the outside tire more than the other one.
So it had 408 gears. It already had coilovers, which are now Fortunes. It had a bolt-in roll cage. It had stock seats, so I put some race seats in there. It has different ones in there now. And it had that cool, interesting rear carbon hatch. It has the tiny back window. It had these taillights and a basic catback exhaust, and that was it. So did all the tire test videos with the blue car, and then it got wrapped to be in a TV show. And that's how Aaron Parker got into the stunt industry. I was supposed to do it. I rented my car to the thing. They cast a black dude and they needed a black driver. And I said, hey, my buddy Aaron's available and he's pretty good at driving. So,
can you please save this?
Yeah. Thanks, dude. And so he went and he did the gag and made a bunch of money off of this thing. And it was pretty fantastic. And then they wrapped it black. And then it's kind of been black ever since. So drove it at some events. It was kind of the backup car. It actually, when it was still blue and I was doing the tire test videos, it kind of saved me with drifting because I had just gotten done with FD. My car was still RB and hating life because that's what RBs do. And I got seat time. And otherwise I was completely burnt out. I was out of money. It was horrible. So the Z saved me from wanting to quit drifting, which is pretty fantastic. So fast forwarding back to when it was black, just drove it, and then decided in 2020 to take it on Drift Week. Took it on Drift Week in 2020, Drift Week 1, hitched up a trailer, so put a tow hitch on it. It was still NA at this point. Put a tow hitch on it, and these seats, the Status Baller Johnnies from my S13, and flew my good friend Junichi Takahashi over from Hardcore Japan, and we took off to Austin, Texas to go drive round 1 of Drift Week. Anyway, we flipped the trailer because I'm so good at life.
Be fine. We're good.
Well, we were just driving down the highway, and it seems as though something broke, and I don't know what it was, but now the goddamn trailer is upside down in the median. Oh my god. I don't know how the fuck we're gonna fix this. Holy shit. All the bins are all over the place. All my stuff. There's my helmet, some gloves, an umbrella, all my parts. A light. I didn't hit this pole. We narrowly, really narrowly missed this pole. Here's my line. Here's a pole. So we came really close to hitting that at like 70 miles an hour. I'm not sure what we're gonna do. Oh my God. It's always gotta be something. Oh boy. Okay, so let's try and figure this out. I still had all the eBay arms on this thing. I never changed them out for anything, and one of them snapped and sent us careening across the freeway through a big dipped median, and the trailer was rolling and it shot all my stuff everywhere. And then we had a 2-day adventure getting back to Albuquerque. When we got back to Albuquerque, we did Drift Week here at Suica Circuit, and on the parade lap, I blew the engine. A lot of out-of-staters. Had them over there changing tires. Aaron's here. Man, this is gonna be a good day. Matt Field was already out ripping around. Chelsea DeNova broke his car already. Brandon Wicknick's looking Mormon. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think Drift Week is officially over for me. I'm pretty sure I just blew the motor on the Z. Oh yeah. Timing belt guides went and it just ate the entire motor. So it's that for a while. With no motor, no spare car, it was just dead at that point. I got a call from my good friend Bart, and he was like, hey man, you interested in doing a TV show called the Hooptie World Championship? And I was like, I've got the perfect Hooptie. It's right here. And we were going to initially install the Supercharger like at Hooptie World Championship. As you can see, it's got the Bluetooth belt on there right now. We were going to install that at Hooptie. The motor, or the intake manifold that we took off of this thing had all the metal stuck to the oil residue that was inside the intake manifold. It had one of those kinetic intake manifolds. And so we put the Supercharger on, the new motor that we installed in this thing. We did one dyno pull, and a piece of metal that was stuck in there flew down into the motor, blew the motor up. And that was the night before we were supposed to leave. So we've got some very not good noises coming from the motor. Not good noises at all. So, quite a bit of damage on yonder side of the old piston. It's now pissed off. Scotty we were frustrated. We were done. We were like, hey, we're going to call the TV show the next day and be like, yo, we can't make it. Sorry. Find somebody else. And Scotty came to the rescue and swapped a motor in all by himself. Put the Supercharger on, and we left the next day to go do Hooptie World Championship, where we took second place to a 500 horsepower STI swapped methanol injected WRX wagon.
From dust and dirt, a champion will emerge.
Welcome to the Hooptie World Championship.
Perfect.
Yeah, this was not a good idea.
Action.
12 contestants on 6 teams compete for the glory. And they gotta do it all with the same car. For our entertainment and yours. But to be a Hooptie World Champion, you gotta build the car to be the best.
There's fail, and there's fail of epic proportions.
Don't do this at home. Really super sketchy.
Hopefully this works. I have no idea.
One more.
Music to my ears. Oh, wrong one. Just kidding.
Tail of the car. Yeah. Woo! Winning! That was amazing. It is freaking exciting.
Which is pretty cool. So it got to do all of that, which means that during that it did drag racing, it did drifting, it did circle track racing, it did off-roading, it did a mud pit, it did rallycross where it was a combination of both. And then the last event was a combo of all of the above. It was a drag race into a drift, into an autocross course, into an off-road course. So we beat the ever-living bejesus out of this thing on that show. Obviously, it's for Scotty. And then it came back and it was completely filthy, covered in dirt, and it just sat in my shop for years. So we did Hooptie World Championship, I think 2021, and I didn't drive it again until last year's No Coast because I didn't think we were going to get the S13 ready, and got to do some driving out at No Coast in this thing. It is a Tundra Supercharger. The snout used to be out to like right here, and we had to machine that down. And we machined it maybe a little bit improperly because all it does is chuck belts, and because it's taller, there's no belt that actually fits it. So I've been having a hell of a time finding belts that will actually fit and stay on. I found some like industrial blender belts that give me about 3 to 4 laps before they yard sale off. So that's where I am with that, which is what we're out here. We were drifting yesterday and today. So every 3 or 4 laps, I got to come in, change the supercharger belt. Saves on tires, I guess. Sounds really cool. When it's going, there's a piece of the belt that just yeeted. Sounds really cool when it's going, and I enjoy driving it. It makes like 311-ish horsepower with the blower. It does have nitrous on it, which we used during Hooptie World Championship as well, but I've never used it outside of that because it's on a button that says Too Soon Junior. Right there. Oh, it's faded. But basically you just take your hand off, and it was for the drag race, and that wasn't necessarily for what we're trying to do with it now. But now I'm trying to dial it in and actually get to use it because it's really fun to drive. I was driving with the Colorado guys all today. That's Mike and Will Parsons, and so we were having a good old time. But again, it's got to change the belt out every 2 or 3 laps. But it rips when it does, and it looks pretty cool now. Got the fitment looking good, got the can size looking fresh. Yeah, so that's the long and short history of this 2005 350Z. It's one of my favorite cars, and I probably have the most seat time in this car than any of my other drift cars that I've ever had, including the S13, strangely enough. And that's mostly because of the tire test videos where I would literally do like 15 laps back to back to back to back to back to back. So yeah, a little bit of history on this unit that doesn't get shown enough love and could be a lot cooler if we could figure out a belt situation for the Supercharger. But again, just another Magnuson product on my, got 2 of them now, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, anyway, 350Z out. They may be ugly, but they are the truth. Peace.